Good morning. I'm Lynn. That's the other one.
Really, Lynn?
We didn't do a video yesterday because we were tied up doing other errands in town. But today it's another scorcher. It's either I'm saying it's scorching hot or freezing cold. It never seems to be just pleasant. Anyway, I think it's going to the 40s today, which I'll get my conversion thing going and tell you how much that is in Fahrenheit. But it's hot and it's, again, humid, so not very nice for the sheep. Luckily, we had most of them done, and Jacob is supposed to be finishing off on Friday, but he has to go somewhere else first, so that's a maybe. But anyway, we're going to go around the barns and see how everyone's coping with the heat today. Tom is feeling a little lonely these days. Are you feeling just a little lonely, Tommy? Are you being... Arnie didn't feed you even. Buddy has decided that he prefers the house to the barn. So he does come out here and sees Tom every now and then, but in the heat of the day, you're likely to find Buddy sprawled on the sofa. He acts way too much like a house cat. We never let him in before because we figured he was a male and he might spray, but we really didn't pay attention to if he was neutered or not, and I see that he is, and he's definitely not spraying, and because he's such a friendly cat, he's getting along with our cats too, our females that are in there, so I don't care if he's an indoor-outdoor cat. So right now we're in the old barn, which as you can see is a dark barn, and it's got really thick stone walls, so it tends to be a lot cooler than the other barns when we're in a heat wave. But nevertheless, we've put fans on, and right now nobody's standing in front of them, so that's a good sign. In the past, when we've had the fans up, the sheep all stand in front of them like all day long, but right now they're eating, so that's good. So these guys have a fan, and Arnie really wanted me to show his invention for this fan. Hi girls. So we got a big fan here. I mean, barns are quite big and they're quite open, so if they're really hot, they can stand right in front of it. But hopefully it cools, at least it's moving the air, let's put it that way. It's not like a house where you close up all the windows and shut the doors and close the drapes. You can't do that with a barn because they quickly have ammonia build up and get sick, so you need the barns open. But this is the best we can do. The humidity is supposed to break on Friday, so just 2 more days. Bird droppings off it, and yeah, if you stand right here, it's actually really, really nice. So it should make a bit of a difference for the sheep. Here's the fall-born Dorset ewe lambs. Looking pretty snazzy. Nicely shorn off. Should help them get through the next few days. But they're looking quite nice. And this is the group where we had 3 of them have basically a little heat stroke fit event when they were getting sheared the other day. As you can see now, you can't tell one from the other. They're all eating, they're all looking perky and just fine. We talked to the shearer about it, and he says he sees like 1 or 2 a year do that. It's not very common, We've had sheep for 22 years, and that's the first time I've ever seen it. So we were trying to figure out what the cause was. Now, the obvious thing is that our humidity is like extremely high. Temperatures are extremely high. These are first timers. We have smoke in the air still. And we have a Dorset breed. So Dorsets, as we always tell you, are a little more hyper. And Jacob said that the ones that he was dealing with that were really fighting, or they would actually kind of stiffen themselves like a board, so he had to really work hard to bend over and reach them. Those were the ones that were having the most problems. So obviously the more you're fighting, the hotter you're going to get, and the more you're going to panic if you're being restricted. So we're putting it to that. We didn't have any issues with any of the Suffolks, because Suffolks in general are just a quieter breed. Once they get on their bum, they tend to just sit there and get it over with. Someone accused us of feeding them before they got sheared, but there was no feed in any of the barns that were getting sheared the day we sheared. Now, there was hay in the trough in the barn we were shearing. So what I was doing is, these are like, when you look at this on the camera, it looks like the sheep can reach from both sides, but you know that I always have to kick the hay in, because there's usually a center core in the middle that they can't reach. So during shearing, I kept kicking the hay in to the sheep that were already shorn on the other side, and all the sheep that were getting sheared were trying to get the hay, and of course they would have gotten a little bit, but they're moving through at a constant pace. It's not like they were sitting there eating all day. They maybe got a few mouthfuls, but that wouldn't be enough to cause them to have little heat events like that. Or yeah, I wasn't happy with the comment, because again, it came across really mean. Like, well, obviously you did feed them because the feeders were full of hay. And I looked at the camera footage, and it did look like there was hay on that side, but it wasn't. Like, see how they're eating here and on this side over here, and it is hard to pick up on the camera, but those are like the sticks on this side in here, and all the hay has been kicked over to this side because the majority of the sheep are on this side of the barn, and we have an area up front for these lambs that they can reach on their side. But once it gets to the middle zone, they really can't reach it much, so we were not feeding the sheep before they got sheared. We were trying to keep it away from them, but the sheep on the other side who were sheared were getting fed. These are the really young lambs that didn't get sheared. They're the Suffolks. They're not our keepers, but when he comes back to do the Dorsets, we're going to toss these guys in too. And then absolutely everyone's done. Normally, at this age, we wouldn't shear these girls, because their wool is really short, but because it's so humid, yeah, I just don't like to risk it. So we're gonna cut off everybody this year. Someone asked me how quickly the sheep grow back their wool. These girls were sheared, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and you can see all their wool's grown back. I mean, it's not super long, but you can see it's not slick to their body anymore either. It's amazing how quickly it grows back, but I guess it's just like human hair. If you cut human hair, it grows back pretty quickly too. Here we are in the lamb barn. All the boys are sheared. Lambert, you look lovely. You do. Again, they're all eating. They all look good despite the scorching temperatures today. Hi. Hi, buddy. You look lovely. So So we're not gonna do a ram of the day. Hi! You were the guy who stood at the front. You were the lure and you were so chill. Despite the heat, despite all the noise and racket, you were chill. A real calm, cool cucumber. Texels have a quiet disposition, and it seems to pass on heavily to the lambs. So everybody looks different now. I'm gonna have to re-recognize everyone, because when the wool comes off, yeah, they do look different. Buddy, I know you're here. We already congratulated your good behavior. But now we can really see how well they're built, or if any of them have faults now that we didn't expect. So far, liking what I see. Hey, buddies. Someone also said that Jacob didn't nick too many, but they saw a couple of scratches. Like, here's a guy here. He got a little nick there. Honestly, people, that is not any problem. I'm sure men who shave their faces will tell you that they get nicks on their face all the time. Even though they're doing it themselves and they're being still, they get a nick every now and then. And you see how it is with sheep shearing. You got a whole body, legs kicking, bending over, hot conditions, and it's inevitable that someone is going to get a nick. A nick is just a little surface wound. It's not going to hurt them. I mean, we don't want that to happen, but for the amount of nicks there were, we did 110 sheep, and we had one got a nick on her udder pretty badly, but again, she struggled really hard. He slipped. You've got to realize he's sweating too in this heat. But she's fine. We put antiseptic on it, and she's eating. She's not acting like it wasn't like into her muscle or anything like that. They were all flesh wounds, and I think he nicked maybe, I don't know, I'm going to say 3. That's phenomenally good. You can't imagine how many nicks you can get on sheep if your shearer is not a good shearer. So this is why we like to have Jacob as a shearer, because although he has a lot of car issues and stuff and not the very best at communicating, his shearing is excellent. And I'm far more concerned with the health of our sheep than delays. Delays are just annoying to me. And they're annoying to everyone, and we wish they weren't happening. But he did have real reasons for his delays. And then once a delay happens, you got to realize he's got a whole slew of people in lineup. So it's hard to fit people back into the lineup. So yeah, excellent shearing job. Can't fault him for anything. It's very easy for people to criticize things, but unless you've done it yourself or really think about it, I would say criticizing is the easiest thing you can do in life. Getting it right is extremely difficult. And this shearing, we got it right. Hi, do you feel better today? I think you do. Because I did a scissor job on you earlier, and you look much more handsome now. Yeah, you do. I gotta say I miss their little fluffy faces, though. Hi, you are nice. But yeah, they do sweat. You can feel the moisture on their body still, but they don't feel like when they had the wool on. You could really feel the heat when you peeled it back, but right now it just feels normal. Hi, little guy. Hi, you're a little guy that made the cut. And you are an angel too. So in this pen, this is the girls. If you watched our video on shearing, We only did the Suffolk ewes. We left the Dorsets because we ran out of time and we hadn't even planned on getting the Suffolks done. But because the Dorsets were having so many heat-related issues with being sheared, we decided to put it off a few days and have him come back. He's supposed to be shearing at another farm not too far from us, and he's hoping that he can get them done quickly enough that he can come back here and finish off the Dorsets. And that day is forecast to be a lot cooler than it is now. So hopefully if he does come, the Dorsets will have a better time of it. But the Suffolks all look good. They all did well. And we're locking everyone in today so that they can just eat and lay down. We're not gonna do a sheep of the day because we just don't want anyone stressed out in this kind of heat. So right now, actually when I stand right at this point, there is a wind blowing through this barn. So that should help keep this barn a lot cooler. It feels like a fan blowing in here. Thank goodness. Everyone's eating, so I'm not worried about anybody. It's when they're all panting that you really begin to worry. But they look good. It's 2 more days they gotta put up with it. And then we'll get back to our sheep of the day and stuff. Hi you guys. Hi Lambert. This is Lambert. Hi. Yeah, and you're so friendly too. And you're friendly too. Oh my goodness. You guys are all friendly. You're Lincoln, aren't you? Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. You're my buddy. I gotta recognize them all again. But I didn't do a video yesterday. I think a few of you may have noticed that when I'm doing my videos and it's focused on me, or even when it's not focused on me, you might see the screen going like this a little bit, or more like, and that's me limping. I have a terribly swollen knee, and it's been like that for a few years, but it's gotten to the point now where I can't fake that I'm not limping. Like, even when I think I'm not limping, I'm limping. So yesterday I was at the hospital getting x-rays, and I had my blood pressure done and stuff too. So just got a call from my doctor. I got to go see an orthopedic surgeon, I think it is, because she says I have severe osteoarthritis on that knee. And I'm guessing I have it on my shoulder, which I can't lift up anymore either. And I have no idea what that is. So when I get in the house today, I'm going to Google it, see how bad it is. But I guess I'm going to be having visits with a specialist. And apparently my blood pressure is sky high too. It's always been sky high. I knew it was sky high. I took meds for it, and the meds didn't really bring it down, and they made me feel like I had COVID symptoms, shortness of breath and stuff, so I stopped taking them because I was doing fine. But they got kind of mad at me yesterday, said that I'm setting myself up for a stroke. So I don't know. They're going to convince me to go on more drugs. Anyway, that's why there was no video yesterday. We are going to try keep up with a daily vlog, but there may be a few days where I can't video because I'm out of the barn. So I am going out of the barn now because my little blood pressure cuff is out of batteries, and I'm supposed to check it every day. So I hope you enjoyed your time here. The sheep are all doing fine. I know everyone was worried. They all look good despite the high humidity. I'm so looking forward to it going away. But they're all good, and please join us again tomorrow for the next episode at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.